9501 or go to Calabro for more information. And Slim Jim from Pomona said he can't tell his name, so he just had to say hi.
Hello. Hello there, Slim Jim.
Can't tell.
Hope you're doing well.
Can't tell. Alright, so what else you got over there?
What else do I have over here? Antidepressants can raise the risk of suicide. Biggest ever review finds. Antidepressants can raise the risk of suicide. The biggest ever review was found as pharmaceutical companies were accused of failing to report side effects and even deaths linked to drugs. Analysis of 70 trials of the most common antidepressants involving more than 18,000 people found that they doubled the risk of suicide and aggressive behavior in under 18s. Although a similarly stark link was not seen in adults, the author said misreporting of trial data could have led to a serious underestimation of the harms. I don't know.
Do some of that again.
It says, although a similarly stark link was not seen, the author said misreporting of trial data could have led to a serious underestimation of the harms. Which means that they know something and that they didn't report it, or they misreported it, or I don't know.
It means something ain't right.
Something ain't right in trial data world. For years, families have claimed that antidepressant medication drove their loved ones to commit suicide, but have been continually dismissed by medical companies and doctors who claim the link was unproven. The review, the biggest of its kind, into the effects of the drugs was carried out by Nordic Cochrane Centre and analyzed by University College London, who today endorsed the findings in an editorial in the British Medical Journal. After comparing clinical trial information to actual patient reports, the scientists found pharmaceutical companies had regularly misclassified deaths and suicidal events in people taking antidepressants to favor their products. Experts said the review's findings were startling and said it was deeply worrying that clinical trials appear to have been misreported. They're just figuring that out.
Jeez. Wow. It's just, well,
disturbing.
A lot of stuff is disturbing that happens in our cultures. A lot of stuff is disturbing. You know, it's, well, I have a lot of opinions on prescription drugs, and one opinion I have on prescription drugs is the fact that Medicare is not allowed to negotiate with the pharmacies, with the companies, which really kind of irritates me. And that's my question to everybody running for Congress right now. What are they going to do about it?
Right.
And the other thing is that, you know, when you listen to, how does the FDA approve some of these drugs?
Well, yeah, not only that, you find that they approve them, and years later they take them off the market for the damages that they can cause, or the side effects, or how dangerous they are.
Yeah.
So why is it that they approve them? I think that the studies, again, like this is suggesting, sometimes are misreported.
Yeah.
And maybe they throw some stuff out of the study to not include it in the data.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't do the study long enough, and they don't see the potential dangers or harmful effects of these things. It says people in the United Kingdom are consuming more than 4 times as many antidepressants as they did 2 decades ago. Despite this, we still do not fully understand the effects of these drugs. The UK now has the 7th highest prescribing rate for antidepressants in the Western world, with around 4 million Britons taking them each year, twice as many as a decade ago, at a cost of more than $200 million a year for the 53 million prescriptions now written. There's a whole article here, just goes into a whole... although NHS guidelines state that under 18 should not be given antidepressants, there are more than 100,000 prescriptions for Prozac each year for teenagers, despite reviews showing that the drugs are no more effective than counseling. And you know, it says that the NHS guidelines state that under 18 should not be given antidepressants, yet they are, and we see kids come in and they're on antidepressants.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen them young, like elementary school kids that were on antidepressants.
11 years old.
That's disturbing.
Right, and they start, no joke, right? I'm not lying. They
Nope.
start getting adjusted, and many of them, if not all, I was going to say many, so I don't get people mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
They get off these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they you know, we had 7-year-old on, you know, major anxiety, is on different medications for that, and migraines. We've talked about that before. She had a handful of adjustments, and her migraines and anxiety just totally went away. Totally different kid, totally different life. Imagine you have this kid that's on this stuff, and they're going down the medical path, right?
Yeah.
And they're on this road to taking drugs and whatever, and whatever they do now in mental health, which I don't think it's working, because more and more people are committing suicide and dying,
Yeah.
and there's more calls to suicide hotlines, and you have more and more kids having been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and all this other stuff. And yet, they're on all these drugs, and then, so they're on this path. Now, this girl, many of them come in, they start getting adjusted, or we clean her diet up or stuff, and they get off them, and they're living a totally different life.
Yeah.
Totally different path, totally different life. Like, just by, some holistic integration. Go figure. I don't know.
All right. We're talking with Dr. David Calabro. He's a chiropractor in Central Square. He's in suite number 53. His phone number there is 609-653-9501. Give him a call. You want to set up an appointment. Or go to www.calabrochiropractic.com. We'll be back.